beautiful truth seekers. Welcome or welcome back to Truth in Life Tarot. In this reading, we are going to be going over wisdom that your higher self wants to tell you. So this time, we're going to start off with these major arcana cards from the anime Persona 4. That is also a game. So you won't know what your tarot deck is until you get to your pile. So for pile 1, we have the Magician. For pile 2, we have Justice. For pile 3, we have the Lovers. And for pile 4, we have the Empress. So the timestamps, including the pre-shuffle, is going to be down below. And I will see you guys at your pile. Bye. Hi, and welcome to the pre-shuffle. We are going to start out with the Spirit Oracle. Let's see. For pile 1, what does their higher self want to tell them? Pile 2. Pile 3. I'm going to take the one that fell upright. Well, I don't know if you would call that right side up, but let's see. Pile 4. The side with the most words on it. Face up. There you go. It's right there on the tip of my tongue. Pile 4. Okay, there we go. Okay. So we also have my handmade cards, which I have not had on this channel in a while, but I love them and miss them. So I'm bringing them back. Okay, pile 1. Pile 2. Let me see if I do it this way. Okay, we got one. Pile 3. Okay. And pile 4. Okay. So this is the Angel Guide Oracle. And once more. Okay, pile 1. Okay, those two came out immediately. Pile 2. Pile 3. This one really wants to come out. Let's see if I can get one more. Okay. And pile 4. Actually, I'm gonna get one more for pile 2. Okay. Oh, expect miracles. And we also have the Sacred Self-Care Oracle deck. One. Oh, that one fell. Okay, it was actually 2. Pile 2. You guys also get 2. Pile 3. See if I can get one more. Okay, pile 4. Okay. So I do have one more deck, and I'm probably going to arrange this differently by the time you guys get to your piles, because as you can see, the smallest of the cards will be in the middle, which just doesn't make much sense when I try to hold them in my hand. So, but this is the Harry Potter Magical Meditations deck. Let's see, for pile 1. For pile 2. Pile 3. And pile 4. Okay, so that concludes the pre-shuffle, and I will see you guys at your pile. Bye. Hi pile 1, if you chose this Magician Major Arcana card, then this is your reading. And this deck is the Herbcrafters Tarot deck. There's also a review of this deck on my channel. If any of you are interested, I will link it below. But what wisdom does your higher self have for you? First card out, we have Judgment or Awakening in reverse, and it's the herb is Tulsa. You also have the 10 of Swords, Alfalfa in reverse, and the 10 of Earth, Horsetail upright. In the back of the deck energy is the Nine of Water, Peach. Okay, so you guys also have the Two of Air, which is the Two of Swords. You have the Hiya of Fire. So this is the Page of Wands, and you also have the Seven of Air, Seven of Swords, Eucalyptus. And the Hiya of Air is California Poppy. The Two of Swords is Chicory. And I think I already said the Nine of Cups is Peach. Okay. Pile 1. I actually get the sense that you're trying to be better, like you're trying to take care of yourself, but you're like missing certain aspects, or you're not doing it fully, or you're not doing it the right way. So with the first card out being Judgment in reverse, and also with the back of the deck energy, which in this context it makes me think of like that kind of soothing self-love, like kind of like the aftermath of like right after you go to a spa. Like that's the energy I get from this card, as well as the Seven of Swords. These three cards, like they really kind of have the energy of you're trying to do something, most likely having to do with self-care or health, and but you're not doing it in the best way. So for example, if you're really stressed at work, instead of eating something healthy, you may just like go for something that tastes good that isn't healthy. So in your mind, like, oh, like you feel better afterwards because you just got something that tastes good and it tastes amazing, but you're not doing your physical body any favors because what you just ate is not good for you. You could be doing that a lot here too with the Ten of Pentacles here. And with the Ten of Swords in reverse, it makes me... Okay, so with the Ten of Swords in reverse, I really do get this energy of like something being undercut, like underhandedly not going the way that you want it to, or there's like some sort of energy in the background that's working against you. But I also get that you tried to stop something and you failed, or you did not complete it, because you see in this picture there's a scythe here, and then it says alfalfa. So alfalfa is one of those herbs that is known for prosperity and also like anti-hunger, and you guys have it in reverse. So there is like this energy of either greed or like overindulgence. There's some sort of overindulgence here. So one thing, so you guys could have been, maybe you thought about doing a fast, or maybe you actually did a fast, because with this Hiya fire, there's like this energy of wanting to start something new. So this could have been a diet. It doesn't have to be a fast, but it was like some sort of change, some sort of new start that just was not going the way like and even if you think it's going the way that you want it to, it's not fully really going the way you want it to. And even with this Two of Swords in reverse, it's like you think you know, because the Two of Swords upright normally is about like a stalemate, indecision, but when it's reversed like this, it really does kind of point to someone thinking that they know something, but they're not, like they don't have all the information, or like there's something missing. And you guys did choose the Magician because at the beginning, like they're, you guys just chose one of these cards. And when I got these cards, I didn't just get random cards. Like I actually shuffled them and, for which one will go on which pile. So I didn't choose the Magician for pile one. That's just how it happened to be. So the fact that you guys chose the Magician, it's like you really want to do something here. Like you really want to make some kind of change, but you're not going into it 100%. There's something that either you're not considering or you're just choosing to indulge in a certain way. It kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier about that example of someone who like had a bad day, but instead of eating healthy like they know they should, they're eating comfort food, which may not be very good for you. Or for some of you, there is also an energy of like if this doesn't have to do with like eating or like any kind of greed or like kind of gluttony in a way. I know people don't like that word, but it just came to mind. There's also an energy of like almost like too much rest, too much relaxation when like that there's supposed to be like a balance or yeah, a balance. So it's like you're slacking off a bit too much for however this applies to you. It doesn't have to be like food related or anything necessarily in the material world. But let's see what your oracle cards have to add. You have, so the front of this says dreaming of you. Someone you love will appear to you in your dreams. They reflect a part of you, a time of remembrance, a time of reflection and healing. So this could have been brought on by something that affected you, like in such a way where you feel that you needed that change. I feel like for some of you this could be sparked on by, and this could be like just other, not in a romantic way, but just other people, but this could have been sparked by just going through something that didn't fully align with you, like it just didn't feel good at all. And I feel like this is your reaction to that. So this isn't going to apply to all of you, but for some of you, it's important to acknowledge the why and the how this started. So you have attack it from different angles. Is it gonna focus? There we go. You had to get it all the way up in there. But yeah, attack it from different angles. So whichever way that you guys are trying to create some sort of transformation, a new start, however you guys are trying to manifest, just make sure that you are attacking it from different angles, because if you kind of get stuck on one angle, then you leave room for things to mess up from other angles. So just make sure that you have yourself covered from all angles. You have vulnerability and freedom. So for some of you, I feel like if you have felt that you can't be fully yourself or fully free, free to like express yourself in the way that you want, your higher self is really trying to call your attention to that, and also to call your attention to the fact that when you kind of view it in a wider way, so not just the one way that you've been the one or two ways that you may have been thinking of it, but when you view it in a more like casting a wider net, or like having like a bird's eye view of it, you're able to see more. You're able to have more hope. You see in this picture, she's catching a star. So there's a message of having hope here, that what you're trying to accomplish will actually manifest, and it's really important to keep that hope. But you have to have, it's almost like for some of you, you have to have that vulnerability to have faith and allow yourself to kind of be free from that that almost stressful environment that you can create, even if it's just within your mind. Self-acceptance. I freaking love this card. So pile one again. There is, well, no, I don't think I said self-acceptance before. I think I said something else, but essentially there's this energy of accepting the now and accepting, well, accepting where you are now, but also being open to really anything that comes your way. So you can't be, it's kind of like what I was saying with this card. Is like, if you keep yourself stressed out, then you're not really the truest version of yourself, because you're not like, your vibration is probably really low. You're probably always thinking about how things can go wrong. But if you like accept where you are now and really stay in this time of healing and change and even prosperity in a way, you will get more mileage out of it. Let's see. So you have make an altar. So for some of you, I'm actually going to put that right here because it immediately made me think of a beauty altar. And this card made me think of like that feeling of like right after you get done with a spa day, like how you feel all relaxed and treated, and like your muscles are loosened up more. It's like that kind of thing. So make an altar or a safe space where you can actually practice self-acceptance, where you can actually plan what you want to do, be as detailed as possible, and try not to be stressful about it. Like, imagine it working out for you as you're planning it. So don't just think about something in theory. Think about it actually happening for you in your life, in your house, in your job, or wherever, however it applies to you. Because it's important to have that visualization, and it's important to have that safe space where you can have that self-acceptance and be vulnerable and actually have time to reflect and heal, like with this card. Make a vision board. Wow. Okay, where do I put this? I feel like here. No, here. Okay, so for some of you, if an altar is not really in the cards for you, just make a vision board. And again, that will help with that visualization I was talking about, because you'll be able to see step by step how you are going to get from A to B. And you did have the Magician here, so if you intuitively pick the Magician, you need to incorporate your magical practice, need to incorporate your, like, what you do on a day-to-day basis in the physical world as well, because you did get the 10 of Pentacles here. Let's see. So for your Harry Potter magical meditation cards, you have Battling Our Fears and Personal Growth. So Obliviate is a powerful spell used in the Harry Potter films to erase memories. If you could use Obliviate to erase any one memory from your mind, what would it be? Because this isn't an option in real life, can you find another way to make peace with that memory? So that's kind of like what I was saying with this card about how if this whole thing was started by something else, you need to really acknowledge that. And for some of you, you will need that extra bit of healing. You will need to take extra time for yourself to heal the things that have not been healed. So it doesn't have to be like a stereotypical spa day, but you should have you should have time to yourself where you are able to release the things that you need to release and heal, as well as gain the new perspectives that you need, like that self-acceptance, that vulnerability, that kind of energy of changing up a plan that you may have had before. So it's kind of like that freedom and that flexibility to change things up, even though you may have thought the plan was solid before. So for personal growth, it says Over the, I'm trying to, okay, that may be the best it's gonna get. Okay. Over the course of the 8 Harry Potter films, Harry grows from a talented young wizard with a penchant for overlooking the rules to a hero responsible for saving the wizarding world from the greatest dark wizard of all time. His journey is strewn with obstacles he must overcome: the Dursleys and their neglect, the Dementors and their terrifying effect they have on him, Professor Umbridge's corrupt and abusive reign at Hogwarts, the loss of his parents, godfather, and mentor, and much more. These events, although often painful, ultimately shape Harry into the person he becomes. What obstacles have you overcome in your life? How did they shape your growth? Okay. Pile 1. This is something you need to think about. This is something your higher self is telling you to acknowledge. There's a lot of healing, self-acceptance for like where you are at this moment. Really thinking back to how you got here, really thinking back to what you need to do in terms of healing, because the original way that you approached healing needs to be tweaked a bit. Whatever your previous way was, it wasn't going to lead to like any kind of full healing. I feel like it was more like a band-aid solution type of thing, or something that's almost like half doing it, like approaching the problem in a way that solves some of the problem but not all. You did have the 7 of Swords, which is the work smarter not harder card, so just keep that in mind. There is a call to rethink, revisit the events that got you here to this point, so that you can truly heal. Okay, let's get you guys some charms. We're going to start off with the runes. And some letters. And some numbers. Fun fact, the Harry Potter Magical Meditations deck actually came with this little pouch that I use for the numbers. Okay, and we have your charms. So if you're new here to this channel, hi, welcome. So I don't actually look in here as I shuffle around for charms. I just shuffle several times until I feel like it's time to take out however many handfuls. So here I go. Okay, we got a letter that almost flew off there. Okay, so starting off with your rune, you have Raidho. So Raidho represents like chariot energy. It's about journey and evolution. It could also be about actual travel, but it's a change of pace, kind of like rhythmic. I almost could not say that word, like the ebb and flow. For your letters, you have M, which almost tried to fly away, B, let's see, F, J, and V. For your numbers, you actually got this W from the number because this has mostly numbers on it, but I kept this one because to me, like, this W is win, like that you won something, that you've been or that you will be successful. I actually don't know what game I got this dice from, but I just wanted to keep it because I just thought that was so cool. So for your other numbers, you have 10 and 4. And for your charms, oh, you have 2 travel charms. But let's start off with your T message. Never regret your mistakes. Admire the courage it took to attempt the unknown. Yes, there is such a powerful message of just like going back and reevaluating and like kind of starting over with a new perspective. Um, yeah, that evaluation is really important for you, Pile One. So you have the gold bell. So the bells represent belief, and you guys got the gold one. So gold represents solar energy, um, masculine energy, success, and wealth. And you guys did get that message as well, um, with the alfalfa and also the Ten of Pentacles. So for your first travel charm, you have this New York. It used to be a keychain, but it's this little sandal, New York keychain, which really talks about traveling or moving, if not physical travel, just moving in a way that is truly meaningful to you, that is truly like for you, that like truly aligns with you. It's kind of like, imagine you're somewhere where you don't need to be and you don't want to be, but you can't move, and then or like you're feeling stuck there because maybe you still have, like, you feel like you need more answers here, and then that energy of like wanting and actually going to a place where you feel safe, you feel comfortable, you feel understood, you feel accepted, even if just accepted by yourself. It's like that kind of meaningful travel. So you also have this beauty charm. You guys got a lot of like, because you guys got the self acceptance with this beauty charm. This is a powerful combination. Like, this is like my favorite. It's one of my favorites, if not the favorite, in this deck. And with this charm, this beauty charm, it talks about like that inner beauty that shines out, so really highlighting any inner work you may have to do. But it's also about self-acceptance in a way, because when you need to do inner work and focus on your inner beauty, a lot of times it is just based around self-acceptance. So that is a powerful double message for you guys. And last but not least, we have the pink car. So again, another message about traveling. The color pink is it's a magical color for me. I know a lot of people really think of purple as the magic color, but for me, pink is as well. It is also it's also a color used in a lot of children's toys, especially little girls. So I feel like a lot of feminine people chose this pile. There is a lot of pink and like beauty stuff. Like, I think all the cards, is there a single man? And there is not a single man in any of these cards. So in this picture, it even looks like you can see the person's hand, and it looks like a woman's hand because there's bracelets and rings, and then this is a woman, this is a woman, this charm is a woman, woman. Yeah, I feel like you guys, if you're not actually a feminine watching this, then you like have that, you have that energy. Like, that's the energy your higher self wants you to focus on. So again, this is a charm about travel, and it's also about kind of traveling to that it's like a childlike message, to travel to your inner child, especially with this pile. So thank you so much for letting me read for you. If you liked it, please give this video a thumbs up, comment down below, let me know how I did. If you would like more readings like this, hit subscribe. I am also on Instagram, Reddit, Tumblr, and TikTok. So yeah, I will see you guys soon. Oh, also I do personal readings, and that information is going to be in the description below. And I will see you guys soon in another reading. Bye. Hi, Pal 2. If you chose this Justice Major Arcana card, then this is your reading. And this deck is the True Heart Intuitive Tarot. So, what does your higher self want to tell you? Pile 2. Oh, that one almost fell. Okay. This one over here. In the back of the deck energy is the Ace of Wands. So you guys have Five of Cups, the Prince, which is the Knight of Cups or water. Let's see, the Eight of Pentacles, the Queen of Wands in reverse, the Ten of Pentacles in reverse, the Ace of Swords in reverse, and the Three of Swords upright. Okay. So there's something here that needs to be healed and balanced. So with the Five of Cups, the Ace of Swords in reverse, the Three of Swords in reverse, and the Eight of Pentacles, there's this energy of like there's a sadness, but there's also like a stagnation, like you're unable to see past a certain point or a certain aspect of the sadness. You may have been waiting for a while, like with the Ace of Swords in reverse, that talks about like not being able to like fully see or like think through a situation or problem. And with the Three of Swords in reverse, that talks about not really, it's like this kind of healing where you're it's not the best kind of healing. Like it is technically healing, but it's very painful, and it can be taking like one step forward, two steps back kind of thing. So with the the Queen of Wands and the Ten of Pentacles here, both in reverse, you guys could have tried to like approach your situation in a way where you're kind of forcing it, like you're trying to force something to be better or just in a certain way, and that's not like there is a call to not only have patience but to work through it. So no shortcuts. So normally with this Ace of Pentacles, I'd think of like someone who is working through something, like working either like through their craft, like they're trying to get a bag through their craft. But in this context, especially with this card, it looks like this person, like they're covering themselves completely. And there's something about this card, it just depicts like a not so happy person, or a person that's not like where they would like to be. Because normally when you see the Eight of Pentacles, it's someone working really hard and they're concentrating. But in this card, not so much. I feel like there is more of a Seven of Pentacles energy with this card as well, where there's like a waiting. And also some of you may find some sort of outlet in creating things. So if you have a creative outlet, make sure that you put that to use, because you do have the Ace of Wands here, and the Wands are all about creativity. And I feel like there's a especially with the Queen of Wands in reverse, like there's a call to not try to rush things and to not try to take things in your own hands in a way where it can accidentally backfire on you. So just be really mindful of that. So with the Two of Cups here, there could have been a romantic situation. I feel like for a lot of you that chose this pile, it probably was, where like you feel like something was like you had good reason to believe that something was supposed to be, and for one reason or another it just didn't turn out that way. So the message here is to really heal, not only to heal that and how you thought of that, but to make sure that you are not putting more of a meaning to that connection than there was. And kind of being able, it goes back to this Ace of Swords in reverse, like kind of being able to see things fully. Like for example, so the Two of Cups, it normally depicts like people who are, you know, they're in unity with each other. It's about love. It could be about partnership, but it's for a lot of people it turns out to be about love. Um and yeah, just like it's like people call this like the soulmate card, even more so than like the lovers card in the major arcana. But if you see here, the man is reaching for, oh, no, 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 okay. Ah, okay, I get it. So I was going to point out that the man was reaching for the woman's cup, but if you see in the background, that's not actually like, that's something totally different. So it's just two people holding a cup out for each other. So for you guys, it's like the cup that you were getting was not the cup that you got. Like there was some sort of expectation there, and it just hasn't, it could not be met. Even with like this Knight of Cups, like maybe you were waiting for someone to like save you, or to like just bring something better to the table, and what you ended up getting was cup spilled. Like, so for some of you, if this isn't romance, I feel like it's more so like an expectation that meant a lot to you. It wasn't just like maybe a job that you didn't get, or something that passed you up but you can get another one of. Like there's something that really meant a lot to you here, and you're not really able to see past it. You're not really able to see past the original kind of thought that made this so important. And there is a call to balance out the things that you can do and your actual healing, and also what you're thinking as well. Because if you're constantly in this energy, then you're not really allowing yourself to really heal. Because some of you want to take a shortcut with this Queen of Wands in reverse. And even with this Ten of Pentacles, you may want to you want what you want and you want it now, like that kind of thing. But it's going to take time to get through this. It's going to get time to get through a disappointment or something. But even if you were like truly wronged and it's not like there was nothing that you could have done to prevent this, that's going to take time, because your first card out was the Five of Cups. So with the Five of Cups, it does depict someone who is sad, but it also depicts someone who is not paying attention to the good things that they have around them, or the possibilities. Because with this Eight of Pentacles, remember, there's like a creative outlet or something that you can physically do to kind of not lessen the blow, but make your healing more meaningful so that it will stick. And I feel like for some of you, that creative outlet is going to help you see the things that you are not able to see, to like think of things in a different angle that you were not able to do before. But let's see, you have, can you feel me? Your feminine aspect is awakening. Feel the goddess energy inside you. She seeks acknowledgement and validation. New energies, insights, and opportunities are emerging. Wake up, embrace, celebrate. So yeah, like I was saying about the Five of Cups, there's something that really should be celebrated, really should be acknowledged. And you may not be able to see that. You may not be able to really get that validation from yourself, like that acknowledgement, that like there's something to be truly honored and grateful for. But this is a message from Spirit and your higher self to try to pay attention to the good things. And acknowledge not just the good things, acknowledge everything that is going on with you at this time. So you have, are you a witch or not? Harry Potter. Oh my gosh. I did not say this earlier, but oh gosh, I forgot what her name is. Okay, so if you're on TikTok, there's this girl who made a famous or viral TikTok where she's like laying down in bed. I thought of this when the Queen of Wands came out. Where like she's just laying down in bed and like her higher self goes, "Get the fuck up." Like you're a witch or something like that. Like what are you doing? And then she gets up, she's just like, yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. Like I don't know what I was thinking. Like oh my gosh, I'm so glad this card came out because I thought of it earlier, but I didn't want to like make it seem like you guys had to like automatically go to manifesting, because I feel like so many people, especially when it comes to love readings or even just love situations, they kind of want to hear that they can maneuver things behind the scenes in that way, and that can be really toxic, really bad for everyone involved. So I didn't want to say it quite like that, but with this card I'm mostly getting that like, hey, you don't have to, like, you can more or less witch your way out of this situation. Not that you're skipping steps, mind you, but when I say witch your way out, I mean you can attack the situation from these different angles and actually get a better view of what's going on. You can do divination. You can also work on your healing. Like there are lots of healing and like clearing, cut and clear spells, releasing spells, all that kind of stuff. And that's kind of more for you and not so trying to control like other people, which I feel like some people kind of get out of these kind of messages when it comes to love. So this is more so about the self and your healing and everything that has to do with you to make yourself a better person and the best version of you. So you have personal growth. Every great wizard in history started out as nothing more than what we are now, students. If they can do it, why not us? Is this not going to focus? That's okay. The other pile didn't focus either. We all start out as students in life. Reflect on what you were like as a student. What were some key lessons you learned in those days, and how have you used them to grow into the person you are now? I feel like that's really important for some of you. Some of you could be relearning a lesson here. And now could be the time where you like really kind of set it in stone so that you don't have to relearn it again in the future. Or if you are still a student, think about what you learned in the earlier years of your education and how those lessons helped form the foundations for the kind of student you are now. Yes. Pile 2. Think about what you have learned. Think about how you have moved in the past and the things that have worked for you. Some of you are not new to manifestation. You know that there are like affirmations or just like things that you can do to enhance your life, but you may not be thinking about it right now because you may be kind of too caught up in the sadness or the lack of healing or the rushing or the wanting to see things in the 3D that aren't quite there yet, or just being stuck in like that previous mindset where like you're trying too hard to see the why, or just trying too hard to like get answers. Because remember, you guys did choose the justice card here, so getting answers and getting that justice, that balance, could be really important for this pile. So when I chose these major arcana cards, well, I didn't like choose them. I like shuffle them, and like, you know, the way I shuffle the pretty much the way I do like the pre-shuffle. So I do for pile 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's the same thing I did with these major arcana cards. So yeah, you guys, if you guys were called to this one, you need to really pay attention to what you want and how you want it. Okay, it's going to be really important. Signs and reminders. So, and there's a whole bunch of butterflies here which represent transformations, and the feather here, so that's more about thoughts. See this feather in the middle? So you guys will probably be getting additional signs and synchronicities after this reading, and I wouldn't be surprised if you got some before this reading, but maybe you weren't really paying attention to them because you were kind of up in your head, just in like not a very constructive way. So make sure that you pay attention to the signs that you get. Even if you got them prior to coming to this reading, they're still important. They were still signs. Just make sure that you pay attention so that you can get the most out of what the universe is trying to tell you, because I feel like there are a lot of messages for you guys. I feel like you guys are in tune with the divine. Like, I feel like you guys are like, you can do the divination work, you could be psychic. I feel like you guys get more signs than you realize or put stock in. Expect miracles. Oh, I love this card for you guys. I'm gonna put that right here. Actually, I'm gonna move this up. I'll put it here. Okay. So some of you guys, there is a call to let go and just expect things to work out for you. To not worry about it so much, to not worry about seeing it in the physical so much, to not think about like just taking the reins and doing everything your way, but to truly just expect things to work out for you. Sorry guys, I had to step away real quick. But you guys have 2 more cards. You have family, card number 23. Place this here. And you also have sweet treat, card number 50. Okay, so for some of you, it's funny because I feel like this is like one of the opposite messages for pile 1. But for some of you that chose pile 2, treating yourself to like what really makes you feel good, and I mean in the healthy way, but also in like the just indulgent way, could be beneficial to you. I feel like it's one of those things that where like comfort food, as long as you're not overindulging, is going to be good for you. And for some of you, it's not comfort food that's going to be the thing that kind of helps you get out of this slump, but it's going to be more so spending time with people that you love and who love you, people who you consider family. This could be friends, this could be your biological family, just anyone that makes you feel safe and understood. Because I feel like you really don't need to be in that headspace where you're like surrounded by people that don't understand you and you have to keep like explaining things like far more than you should. Like, so there's a message here to surround yourself with people who love you. And to indulge sometimes in things that just feel good, like things that, not to say that they have any like drawbacks or anything, like don't do something that you'll later regret, but just make sure that you find things that feel good. That can include exercise, it could be indulging in sweets, it could be just watching something that you really like to watch. So just keep that in mind. So let's get you guys some charms. We're going to start off with the runes. And some letters. And some numbers. Also, fun fact, this little pouch is actually for the Harry Potter Magical Meditations deck. So this actually came with the deck. So I like it. It has like a little Hogwarts outline there with the moon in the background. But let's see. For your numbers. Okay, and the charms. So if you're new here, hi, welcome. I don't actually look in here as I shuffle around and get you guys some charms. I just keep shuffling until I feel like it's time to take out however many. Okay, so here I go. Okay, so let's start out with your rune. So this rune looks like an arrow and it's called Tiwaz. It represents honor, justice. Oh my gosh. And it fell right over the justice card. So it's like that justice, integrity, authority and also leadership. For your, let's see, for your letters, you have G, M, Z, B, and J. Are there any other? No, I think there were just 5. Okay. Sometimes like one of the letters will like scurry somewhere and I'll have to make sure that it didn't fall off and that I'm counting it. So for your numbers, you have 5 and 10. Which is interesting because the 5s normally represent change, and also the 5 in the major arcana is the Hierophant, so that's about learning and teaching. It could also be authority in a certain sense as well, but it is definitely about like gaining, like that experience. So you also have a travel charm. So this one is a little keychain, little sandal keychain that says New York. So traveling someplace could be beneficial to you guys, even for a little bit, just to like clear your head and like give yourself that kind of restart. Self-love is really important. Self-healing is really important. And if not physical travel, just allowing yourself to mentally and emotionally get from where you are now, because you really do have to allow yourself to do that, and it may not be in the way that you originally wanted to do that. So you have Cancer here. So Cancer energy is actually very healing energy. They are known for like being very supportive and nurturing friends. Sometimes they're depicted as like the mom of the friend group. The negative aspects of the Cancer energy is they could be aggressive or unable to let go. I feel like that energy could be a little bit with this pile too. It's like you need things to be balanced and you're unable to let go of what you originally thought of to be a balanced situation. Let's see. So you also have this heart charm. I call this my Heart of the Ocean charm because it reminds me of that Heart of the Ocean that Rose had in Titanic. So another love message here. For some of you, there is going to be something or someone coming in for you, but I feel like that's like the kind of thing where if you focus on it, you're just like pushing it back even more. I feel like it's just the kind of thing that would naturally happen with you. Like that could be like your natural yeah, like it'll just come to you. Like maybe this was already going on in the background, because I feel like that could be on the horizon for you guys, especially since you got the Expect Miracles and the Two of Cups card. And the Two of Cups, there's like a kind of like a background energy I'm getting with that, of not only love that may not be there anymore, but is also coming in. So I'm glad I got that confirmation. So last but not least, you have the pawn chess piece. So the pawns can only move forward one space at a time unless they are taking another piece, in which case they can take it diagonally. So you guys, again with that patience, and it just happened to fall right over that. So that is just another message from your higher self to be patient and to be willing to take it one step at a time. And even though it could be a grueling process, or it could be something uncomfortable that you don't want to go through, your higher self is really pressing you to do it, to get the work done. And however long it takes is how long it takes. Don't look at it like that, just look at the work being done. And yeah, so, and you'll go further that way also. So thank you so much for letting me read for you, Pile 2. If you liked it, please give me a thumbs up, comment down below, let me know how I did. Hit subscribe if you are not subscribed already. And if you would like more content like this, I am on Instagram, Reddit, TikTok, and Tumblr, and I also do personal readings. All that information is going to be in the description box below. And I will see you guys soon in another reading. Bye! Hi Pile 3, if you chose the Lover's Major Arcana card as well as this Nightmare Before Christmas Tarot, this is your reading. I know you didn't know which deck you were choosing, but If you chose pile 3, this is your reading. Also, one thing that was interesting is when I was shuffling out these major arcana cards, I I didn't know like which deck was going to go with which card, and then when I saw that it was the Nightmare Before Christmas Tarot, it made me think of Sally and Jack, because I believe the Lovers card in this deck is just them. And a lot of people that love this movie, The Nightmare Before Christmas, that's one of the things that they like, the interaction or the romance. This is kind of a weird romance between Jack and Sally. So let's see, what does your higher self want to tell you? So you have the 10 of Cups, Queen of Pentacles, and the 4 of Cups. Okay, you also have Justice. You guys may have also been drawn to pile 2. You have the 2 of Pentacles. Even during the pre-shuffle, like some of the cards for pile 3 was like trying to go into the pile 2 pile. And although that can happen just because, you know, obviously 2 and 3 are next to each other, I did kind of make a note of it. By the way, it's interesting that your back of deck energy, the Page of Swords, is reversed, because all of my cards are upright and I just let them like in the deck, and then I just let them fall the way that they fall. But this one was somehow reversed in the deck, so that's interesting. So for your cards, you have the 10 of Cups, the Queen of Pentacles, the 4 of Cups, Justice, the 2 of Pentacles, the King of Cups, and your back of deck energy is the Page of Swords. Okay, pile 3. Okay, so I am getting a, it's almost like a, like for some of you this is going to be more like in the background, and for some of you this is going to be more in the forefront, but there's an energy of balance here. So your higher self wants you to gain or regain some kind of balance. You have the Queen of Pentacles and the King of Cups. So even though these energies aren't exactly opposite, because the Queen of Pentacles is like feminine of feminine and the King of Cups is like masculine of feminine, so it's not like direct opposites, but it does make me think that there is a need for some kind of balance here. And you do have the Lovers, which has like the masculine and feminine. I didn't even think of that. I was thinking about like these cards, like with the 2 of Pentacles, which talks about balance as well and prioritizing, and Justice, which is about setting things straight, like having that balance, like balancing the scales. So you guys, and even with like the 10 of Cups and the 4 of Cups, it's like you could have like something that you really wanted, like something that makes you emotionally fulfilled, but you could be looking at something that you don't yet have. And so there's, because the 4 of Cups is about like paying attention to or really not paying attention to a blessing that could be right in front of you. Like that's one of the things the 4 of Cups talks about. So you guys could be really needing to come back to center. With the Page of Swords in reverse, you could be looking at other people with envy. You could be like, if you, let's say you're doing like some kind of research, or you're just like looking something up and you see something that makes you feel like you're doing something wrong, or that there's something that's not enough. So your higher self wants to call attention to that. If you are seeing that, like if you're seeing that something needs to change up because it's not perfect or something like that, there's definitely a call to come back to center, to come back to self. So with the King of Cups here, I'm getting that you guys need to like become more of a master of your emotions, because the King of Cups is not really the, like, to me, I think of the difference between, or the main difference between the King of Cups and the Queen of Cups is that the King of Cups is more so of a master of all aspects of his emotion, whereas the Queen of Cups is more so at master of the feminine aspects of it. So she is able to kind of take, like, for example, she may be able to take sadness and turn it into something else and like transform it into something else, whereas the King of Cups can do that as well, but he can also just kind of see with a more like definite almost like 3D way of like how he needs to implement his emotions, how he needs to apply them, when he needs to apply them. Like, it's a lot more methodical, a lot more almost Machiavellian in a way. So with the Queen of Pentacles right next to the Ten of Cups, you guys could have a lot of good things going on right now. So you guys could have like just a lot of things aligned with you. You could have already achieved a lot of your goals, a lot of things that you wanted. Whether that be something that you had to work for or things that are based on luck, like however it goes, you guys have achieved so much. But there is a call to come back to self. Like maybe you're focused more in an ungrateful energy. Maybe you're having difficulty balancing like other things that you're going for. So make sure that you are grounding yourself, because your higher self is really calling attention to the fact that you have a lot, but you may not kind of see it as that. You may see like all the other stuff that you need to do, or the things that you don't have, or that you need to make these a whole bunch of little adjustments. And it's like, no, there is a call to focus on the good things that you have. Not to say to ignore anything bad or missing, but just to focus your energy more on those good things. So for your oracle cards, you guys might have the most oracle cards, but you have sexuality. And it says, an influx of sexual energy is coming your way. Embracing both masculine and feminine aspects of the self creates wholeness. It is safe for you to express your sexuality in whatever way you choose, provided you do it lovingly. Okay. So, no, I'm going to place that here. So, pile 3. By the way, I'm sorry if I called you guys pile 2 earlier. Oh, no, I think I said that some of you guys may want to watch pile 2. But, so there's a call to embrace both the masculine and the feminine. So again, that balance, if you're more so in that King of Cups energy where you feel like you have to be strategic with your emotions, just make sure that you are doing it evenly. So there's nothing wrong with trying to balance yourself out in that way, but I feel like if you're more in the masculine energy of approaching this, you are more likely to actually dismiss some of your emotions, or just not pay as much attention to, not honor them really the way that you should. So just be mindful of that and focus on the balance. So from my deck, you have the power comes in response to a need, not a desire. Goku. So we have 2 anime references. So I don't know if you guys, again, like pile 2 got this as well. Like, I don't know if you guys like just really love cartoons or anime, because there are like more references to pop culture, I should say. So with this card, it's really talking about how to harness your energy. So Goku says this to his son when his son is trying to train and become a Super Saiyan, or those of you who never watched Dragon Ball Z, just to become stronger like the adults around him. And this is the advice that his father Goku gives him, that the power comes in response to a need, not a desire. So now that's not to say that you need to wait until like something terrible happens to create that need. It's just that a lot of times the need is within you, and you may have trouble bringing it out. So if you have a need for something to, like, let's say something's just not, it just doesn't feel right, it just feels off, you could feel uneasy about something, and you may need to express that, or you may need to address that in some way. So in that example, the need is already there. You don't need to wait for something to blow up in your face. You just need to channel that, like kind of bring it up and out of you. I know it's like a weird way to phrase it, but you have to purposefully bring it out of you, and you are thereby creating that need, and you are, which is where you will get the power. So for those of you who like, you find yourself needing like this change in order to bring about balance, if you need like an extra push, just push your own need that is already in you out of you. So that can be through creative works. It could just be through really energetic work. You can do this in so many different ways, but take that if it resonates, that if there's something that needs to come out, or if there's a need that needs to be kind of transformed into something that you can use, something that you can work with, into power, make sure that you are taking the time out to do that. And I feel like your higher self like knows that there's a way that you, like your go-to way to do that. So you guys have Flights of Fancy from the Harry Potter Magical Meditations deck. And I don't think it's gonna focus. Oh, okay, it is. Okay. In Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, the concept of Ani-Magi is introduced. Ani-Magi are wizards who have learned to turn into an animal at will. What animal form the wizard can turn into cannot be chosen, but depends on what kind of person they are. Sirius Black turns into a great black dog. Professor McGonagall turns into a cat. Peter Pettigrew turns into a rat. If you were an animagus, what animal do you think you would turn into? So, I immediately thought of spirit animal when I read that. So with this card, it's calling you to think about, as far as animals go, like who, like at your core, what animal do you most represent? So for some of you, that's going to be more helpful than others, but for some of you, the point is to think of your pros and cons, like your power and your weaknesses, but also like your needs. So for example, if your spirit animal, or if just the animal that you thought of when I read that card, is an animal that values family and community, like wolves, for example, then you may find your power through that, like through the community of people that you surround yourself with. You may find that being able to kind of move around freely is really important to you. So whichever animal came to mind, or the animal that you most resonate with, you need to look at why you resonate with that animal, because there's probably something about that animal that you want, admire, or like there's something about it that connects with you in some way. Let's see, do you have... So there are no animals in these cards. It's just like the Halloween people and like ghosts and stuff and pumpkins. Okay, so you also have Battling Our Fears. A boggart is a creature, there you go, that takes on the appearance of the thing a person fears the most. Fortunately, they can be defeated by a simple spell, Ridiculous, which will force the boggart to turn into something the wizard finds amusing instead. What would your boggart be? What shape would it force into? What shape would you force it into if you could cast a ridiculous spell? So I really like that right after the Ani-Magi card, because it's again making you think about like what's deep within you. So like what truly makes you tick, what truly matters to you, what is your true need, like what is, I feel like these cards are like going back to what I was saying about like you could have a lot of things going for you, but you're looking at like what others have, or you're feeling that you need to balance things out, that you need to like, or that there's a call to like really pull in your emotions and center yourself. So with this card, there's also another message of thinking about not only what scares you, but how do you turn around something that scares you. So in the movie, I'm trying to think of someone who had the opportunity to do both, because that lesson in the movie and in the book was kind of cut short. But so like Ron, his okay, his boggart was spider. It was a giant spider, not just spiders. His boggart was a giant spider, right? So that's what he's most afraid of. But when he cast the spell, he pretty much put skates on the spider, so it could not stand upright, and it was just like tripping in place. So, and like everyone was laughing because he turned something terrifying into something freaking hilarious. So it's kind of a call to make sure that you are that you at least have the ability to look at what makes you tick in a negative way and how you might be able to see something positive or opposite of that. So if your fear is, going back to that community example, if your fear is being surrounded by people who are not really for you, or maybe just being alone. But if your fear is being around people, like being stuck around people, I should say, that kind of weigh you down and they're not really here for your progress and your happiness, then you may be able to turn that around and say like, okay, now I know like what it looks like to have people do this to you. So if I ever meet someone who's going through the same thing, I can help them. I can let them know it's like, hey, you shouldn't be treated like that. You deserve love and privacy and all that stuff too. So it's like, even though this bad thing happened over here, you are able to use that. You're able to make the most out of that. Or, you know, it doesn't have to be that. You can do it in a way where it's just you thriving in that situation somehow. Like you could just like find out a way to thrive in that terrible situation. However it applies to you. But there is a call to make sure that you at least have the ability to do that when and if you need to. So you have experiencing loss. I always want to like flip this over before I read the front side of the card. But the ones that love us never really leave us, and you can always find them in here. Sirius Black, Harry Potter, and the Prisoner of Azkaban. Do you have someone who you keep dear in your heart? How does their memory touch the way you live your life? Okay. Oh, this is not going to fit over here. I'll put it here. Move this down a bit. So if there is someone, this doesn't have to be someone who is deceased per se, but I feel like this could be any meaningful person, because I was getting like community here a bit, especially with these oracle cards. Yeah, so like and even like with the 10 of Cups, because that talks about like family and community and just emotional fulfillment, like top tier emotional fulfillment. So if there is someone that means a lot to you, whether they're here or not, this is a call from Spirit to really acknowledge how that person affected you. Because I feel like it could be someone who you looked up to or you thought very highly of. And this is kind of more of that message of like centering yourself and looking within. Because there's a lot of self-reflection cards here. Like it's really asking you the question, how do you, for one, find out like everything that you have going on inside you, but also how do you bring it out in a healthy way? That is really important for you guys. You have romance and connection. So for some of you that chose pile 3, the Lover's card is like actual for you guys. So you guys could have a connection, or maybe you're like a part of your message is about a connection. So you could have a lot of things going for you, but you want a connection. For some of you, it's going to be that there is a call to cherish your connection, to really be able to manage your emotions in a way so that you can be present in your connection. Because you can't really be present if you're in like this 4 of Cups energy, or even this Page of Swords energy in reverse, because you're looking elsewhere. You're not really looking at what you truly have that you really do value, but you're just not like paying attention to it, at least not fully. And for those of you that are not in a connection, this is more so to remind you that the way you look at connections is really important. So it can be very easy to let things that are not really good for us thought wise just kind of slide into our headspace and stay there and grow and then sprout other little nasty thoughts. So it's important to keep your heart and your mind clear of those things, because it's just gonna like tangle you up in the future if you just like let things fester like that. And you do have the sexuality card here, so if yeah, so for some of you, you could be queer or LG. Because I always see this word written, LGBTQIA. There you go. I always see the acronym, I guess, written. But if you do fall into that category, it is very important to honor what you want in a connection, your sexuality, and who you feel most comfortable having a romantic connection with. I feel like that's going to be for a few of you. And you do have the Lovers here as well. So the Lovers, another thing about the Lovers is it's not just about love, it's about choice as well. So some of you are going to have to really choose, like purposefully choose what you want when it comes to romance, when it comes to your sexuality. Because even though you may be born with a certain sexuality, or maybe you like discovered that you were a certain sexuality, you still have to choose to act on it. Because if you just like keep it to yourself, then it's probably going to fester into something really unpleasant that you're not going to want. So just pay attention to that if that applies to you. And be honest with yourself. Be honest with what you want. So you have Friendship and Union. Oh, okay. So some of you, like, you could be thinking about a romantic connection with a friend, or this could be more of that like community message where your connections are really important. Like who you are in union with is really important, because you have several unity cards here. Actually, it's not so much that you have, well, you do have like other unity cards, but it's important to acknowledge how that union affects you. So it's not just a message of you needing to be around people that really care about you, but you really need to pay attention to how these friendships, unions, connections, romantic relationships, however it applies to you, how it affects you in your day-to-day life. How does it affect your thoughts? How does it affect your fears? How does it affect how you go forward in life? Your ambitions, your insecurities. Manifestation. Okay. So yeah, this is another card that makes me think of Pal 2. So one of the messages I'm getting from this card is that you have the power within you to transform. So whether it's like what this card says, to bring something within you out of you, or it could be like really acknowledging what it is that you're doing and having the power and the ability to transform, well, to stop and to change it, to transform that, having like master of your emotions and being able to deal with your emotions accordingly. I don't mean deal like a bad way, just like handle it accordingly. So, and it's funny because you guys got the most Harry Potter magical meditations cards, and you also have manifestation here. And immediately when this came out, it made me think of Pal 2 and how they got my card that said, are you a witch or not? That's a Harry Potter quote. And they also got the Queen of Wands. So yeah, you guys got the Queen of Pentacles. So to me, that's another like kind of manifestation card in a way, because the Queen of Pentacles is comfortable in the physical realm, and she got that through manifestation. Like she got that through like pretty much how she is. Like she doesn't even really have to try. So just make sure that you're paying attention to what you are manifesting. It is possible to manifest your insecurities, and it is possible to manifest the things that you are concentrating on, again with that Four of Cups. So make sure that your mind is in the right place. Make sure that your energy is in the right place. The power comes in response to a need, not a desire. And there's also, so with that message, I also want to add that letting go and allowing yourself to flow will really help with that as well. Because again, I don't know how many people that choose this pile watch Dragon Ball Z, but another character that was trying to pretty much ascend his strength and his energy, he got there by training really, really hard. Like he trained hard and he tried to be like Goku, you know, the main character that had already achieved that kind of strength. And it wasn't until he let go of that attachment that he was able to get it. And I feel like that's an important message for you guys as well, to make sure that you are flexible enough to let go and let what is for you like come to you, and that you're not accidentally blocking yourself from it. So you have Connect with Crystals, card number 11. So for some of you, crystals are going to be important for your, well, this part in particular of your journey. I feel like your higher self is like letting you know and assuring you that things in the physical world really do have an impact on you. So like crystals, if you were on the fence about getting crystals, this is your confirmation. If you were on the fence about doing like putting the crystals over your chakras, or meditating with crystals, this is a sign for you to go ahead and do that. I feel like some of you, it's not that you don't think that that's a good idea, but a lot of you that chose this pile, you just don't really do it regularly. Like it's not something that you go out of your way to do, it seems like, or that you don't put a whole lot of attention in. So if you fall into that category, just make sure that you are, you know, giving yourself a chance to explore things in the physical world that can help you out. If not crystals, it can be herbs like tea. Yeah, because tea has like a lot of different teas have like different properties to help you with different things, not only physically, but metaphysically. Let's see. Okay, let's get you guys some charms. I'm gonna start out with the runes. Just shook the whole camera there. Okay. And some letters. Have one letter fly off here. And some numbers. So this this little pouch actually came with the Harry Potter Magical Meditations deck, and yeah, I don't know if anyone will be interested in that fact, but there you have it. I think that 10 came out with like every pile. Okay, and last but not least, your charms. So if you're new here, hi, welcome. I don't actually look in here as I shuffle around. I just shuffle several times until I feel like it's time to take out however many handfuls. Okay, so here I go. Okay, so let's start out with your rune. There you go. So you guys have Dagaz, and this rune represents dawn, like the beginning of the day, awakening, breakthrough. It is also a rune about kind of like direct, like transformation and directed change. You have for your letters T, N, B, and F. And for your numbers, you have 1 and 10. And for your charms, let's see. So you guys have this front part of this heart charm. So what that says to me is that there is it's kind of more of that King of Cups energy, where there's not like a heart on your sleeves type thing, but more so that you could be in the energy of leading with your heart, but also trying not to let it completely lead you. So like making sure that yourself is covered first, which there's nothing wrong with that energy or that sentiment. It's just that it can be a bit engulfing. So just make sure that you, again, have that balance, so that you are really paying attention to all aspect of what you're going through in your emotional world and how you need to navigate through that. So you have this little fortune cookie message. It says, attend to business today, leave that street side flower alone. So to me, that's kind of talking about distractions. Sometimes depending on like the reading, I get like slightly different kind of flavors of the same messages, whether that be like the tea messages or the fortune cookie messages. But in this case, I feel like it's more so pointing to the fact that there's work to do. There is really work to do, and you guys could be in the habit of distracting yourself in the wrong ways. So yeah, just be mindful of that. The Queen of Pentacles energy could be a bit addicting, especially if you want to be comfortable all the time, like always in non-stress mode. So yeah, just make sure that you stay on track. So, oh my gosh, this is the third pile to get this charm. And this, so number 10 and like the travel charms are really important in the collective right now. But so this is the travel charm. You see it's a little it used to be a keychain, but it broke, and it says New York in this little sandal. So traveling, it could be physical travel, but I feel like for a lot of you guys it's going to be like the message is more so about like transformation kind of traveling. So for some of you it's going to be almost as exhausting as like actually traveling somewhere that's kind of far away, because you will have to come to a space that where you've come far to get there. So it may not be a quick process, but it is an important process to take. So you have I'll start off with the bell. So the bells represent belief, and you guys got the red one. So red represents the root chakra as well as fire energy. It also represents passion, love, drive. So again, for those of you in a romantic situation, just make sure that you are really paying attention to that. And I'm getting that it's important to root and center a lot of that energy. I think I said that before with this card, how you have to like pay attention to your involvement in the connection. So you guys also have the blue sea glass. So the sea glass represents transformation. And the way sea glass is created is really interesting. But essentially any piece of glass can, like if it's in the ocean, eventually it will be kind of tumbled enough and then get back onto the shore and look something like this. And you guys got the blue one. So blue represents the throat chakra. Some people represent it represents the ocean as well, like the color blue, but also because it's sea glass. The The color blue also represents like knowledge in a way, but also almost like this official knowing, like knowing something and being sure of it. And it did fall right under, I mean, right over manifestation. So there is a message of speaking things into existence. So I'm so glad it fell over that, or like that I put it over that, because that was what I was thinking. And I just happened to look down and see. So, yeah. So pay attention to what you are speaking and thinking. And also pay attention again to where your emotions naturally go, because I feel like for you guys it's one and the same. Like your emotions go like where your feelings, I'm sorry, your emotions go where your thoughts go, and it could be rather distracting and not lead you to be very grounded. So last but not least, you have the message in a bottle charm. There you go. So you guys could be receiving extra messages. I feel like this reading confirmed a lot of stuff for you guys. There could be even additional messages that you got before this reading or possibly after this reading. It is important to pay attention to the things that you pick up. Not that they're all necessarily going to be messages from outside of you, but even the messages that come from you. So if you are intuitively picking up on something, do not neglect that. Don't think that it's all in your head or anything like that. Just make sure that you are paying attention to it and honoring it, because it is really important. So those are the messages from your higher self. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. That was really interesting. Like, comment, and subscribe. If you would like more readings like this, I am on Tumblr, Reddit, TikTok, and Instagram. I also do personal readings, and all that information is going to be down below so that you can check all that out. And yeah, let me know how I did, and I hope to see you guys soon in another reading. Bye. Hi, Pile 4. If you chose the Empress Major Arcana card, then this is your reading. And you also chose the Sun and Moon Tarot. So, what are some messages, some wisdom from your higher self? You have the Queen of Wands. So you also have Strength. Well, I'm sorry, it's the Nine of Wands, but it says Strength. Oh, you have a lot of Wands cards. You have six. No. Okay. Eight of Wands, which says Swiftness. Six of Wands, which says Victory. You have the Six of Swords reversed, and it says Science. And for the back of the deck energy, you have the Queen of Cups. So you have the Chariot as well as the High Priestess. Okay. Okay, that's good enough. So, Pile 4. I feel like your higher self is telling you to go for something. There's, like, even though it may be difficult, or, you know, you could feel like you've been doing it for a while, I feel like there's a pretty strong message to keep going. So you may be a person who identifies as more feminine if you chose this pile, but you don't have to be. It's just that all of these, like, it's very powerful feminine energy. You have the Queen of Wands, you have the Eight of Wands with the woman here. Of course, you have the Empress, the Six of Wands, which is of course about victory and success with another woman here, the High Priestess, the Chariot, which represents Cancer, which is also feminine energy, and then the Queen of Cups, which is like feminine energy. And of course, there's a woman here on this card as well. So there's also a message here of being careful of your thoughts and the unconscious. With this Six of Swords in reverse here, you could be there's something about your mind here and making sure that you're on the right track. Maybe you could be too logical sometimes, or you feel the need to put logic over emotion, or even logic over energy, like what you feel a drive towards. So whatever you have going on or that you have been thinking about starting, this is a message from your higher self to keep going. With the Queen of Wands here, I get the sense that you guys have the ability and the drive and the creativity in order to see this through, in order to keep going. And the Chariot is all about like taking the reins and kind of pushing yourself, your journey, your vehicle, your path in the right direction. So it could be taking opposite energies, could be taking chaotic energies, but you're still like pushing everything in the right direction. And with the Queen of Cups here, I feel like there's this kind of underlying message, especially because it was the back of the deck energy and you guys chose the Empress Major Arcana card. But there is another message here of making sure that you take care of the self, making sure that you give like that kindness, that energy, that love to yourself. You have two queens and the Empress here. So whereas this queen is more action oriented, this queen is more so emotion oriented, and the Empress is, well, she's the embodiment of all the queens, but mostly she's like this kind of earth energy, creativity. She also sometimes depicts a pregnant woman as well. So that's very like earthy, very physical realm energy, but it's also very feminine energy. So yeah, there's a call to make sure that you have those energies balanced, and that you're not forgetting like the within as well as the without. So like your inner and your outer, and your masculine and your feminine. I feel like the masculine is what you like, the thing that would probably resonate with you first, but there's also a need to pay attention to your inner world as well. So for your oracle cards, you have Karma, and it says someone from the past reemerges in your life. This gives you the opportunity to handle things differently than you did before. Stand firmly in your power, yet stand also in the light of love. The universe is presenting you with a fresh opportunity to clear away any lingering karma linked to this relationship. Okay, so I like how it says stand firmly, but also stand in the light of love. So for some of you, if you haven't already, someone may be coming in from your past, and it's going to be really important to stay the course and not get kind of sucked into any negativity that connection may bring or has brought into your world. I feel like when you act in like a space of love, it doesn't have to be love for the other person, but just love for yourself. You're able to go so much further because you're less likely to fall back into any old habits, or even fall for any old traps that you may have been in while involved with this person. So the Empress, remember, the Empress is all about regality. So treating yourself as the queen of queens, treating yourself as though you are worthy, because you are. So if you have any kind of connections with someone else that you need to have cleared out, just make sure that you do it lovingly so that you can clear away any kind of ties to this person or thing. I feel like for a lot of you it's going to be a person though. So from my deck we have Atlas Shrugged. So for every pile I've had to like get it super close to the camera. So what this card means is that there is a I don't know if you would call him a deity, but there is this mythical creature called Atlas, and he holds the world on his shoulders. And the message behind Atlas Shrugged is that, like, you may be the person, especially with this Nine of Wands, you might be the person that has had to be in this wounded warrior energy, or just be in an energy where you're tired and you've been having to do a lot. And it kind of begs the question, what would happen if you just shrugged? What would happen if you let that part of you go? Let that part of you kind of fall or dissolve? Like, what would you be? Who would you be? How would you think? Would you be able to accomplish your goals with more efficiency? It's like the phrase Atlas Shrugged, it's like it brings up all these questions. And it's also a book by Ayn Rand, and it's about how the leaders of the world, like the creators, the people who invent stuff that makes the world, that they create like the conveniences of the world, and pretty much their inventions more or less run the world. And the whole book like begs the question, like, what if all those people went away and left everyone else who wasn't magnificent? Like, what if they just left them in their world and they went off to a new world? Oh, sorry, I bumped the camera. So it is a reminder to allow yourself to be able to kind of shift when and if you need to shift. And I feel like for some of you, like when the term Atlas Shrugged is probably comes off as like ruthless, and yeah, that's completely understandable, because it also kind of talks about essentially kind of being ruthless. Also the main character in that book, like, she tries so hard to like save the whole world, and like people around her, like all the other inventors, all the other people that are in charge of important things, they're just like disappearing. So that's interesting. I wonder if you guys have like read that book, or like have heard of that story. So you have values and beliefs. I always try to turn these cards over too quick, but I wanted you guys to see the front. Okay, Draco Malfoy is part of an ancient and privileged wizarding family whose belief in the superiority of pureblood wizards is matched only by their devotion to the dark arts and Lord Voldemort. Draco internalizes this point of view wholeheartedly, growing from a spoiled child into a cruel and arrogant teenager. It is not until Draco becomes a Death Eater and is given a horrifying task by Voldemort that he begins to question his upbringing. Have you ever had to question any of your beliefs? If so, what prompted you to begin to change your mind? Okay, so I really love that message, especially right after Atlas Shrugged, because that book and just that phrase, it invites you to acknowledge and examine your beliefs and your morality. So that's a lot of what Draco Malfoy went through in this movie, Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, when he was given the horrifying task that he was given. I try not to spoil the movies of these cards and like, any of the references so much, in case you guys want to read and or watch them. But essentially, it it shakes up his foundation. So this is a call from spirit to think about what is a part of your foundation and also what needs to be cleared away. Because both cards actually went three well, all of the oracle cards so far has been about acknowledgement and shedding away what needs to be shed away. Whether that's shrugging something off, abandoning old belief systems that you now see no longer, like they no longer make sense to you, or just like cutting off any lingering karma or connection to something or someone that doesn't need to be connected to you anymore. So you have joy and contentment. I'll place that here. So with this card, yeah, it's like more so of that like high vibe energy, like kind of what I got at the beginning of the reading, like with the Queen of Wands, the Six of Wands, the Chariot. It's like there's a lot of victory, there's a lot of like positive energy with this pile. So you could have already achieved something great, or you're going to achieve something great, but there is a message of contentment here. So although there may be a lot of work to be done, there's also a lot of happiness to be had. Like there's a lot of contentment, there's a lot of things to just be, to acknowledge that are kind of great, like kind of awesome is what I just heard. So yeah, make sure that you are paying attention to that inner world as well, like with the High Priestess and the Six of Swords in reverse. Because with the Six of Swords in reverse, that could also depict someone going like backwards, like kind of backwards in thinking, kind of like the opposite of what happened with Draco Malfoy in that sixth movie and book. But let's see. You also have surrender. Okay. So for some of you, surrendering is going to help you to let go of the things that no longer serve you. So the letting go aspect of what you need to do, it doesn't have to be a process of hard work. Sometimes it's just shrugging. Like sometimes it's just letting things fall, letting things go. So although the inner work may be not so pleasant for a lot of you, actually for most of you, the letting go process, the clearing away of any lingering karma is going to be more of a, I almost want to say passive, but it's not going to be like this grueling task. So you have card number 8, chanting. Okay. So pile number 4, one of the things that your higher self is recommending is for you to focus on affirmations, mantras, and chanting. So if you don't want to verbally chant, you can also just kind of say things in your mind or listen to affirmations where like they're chanting things over and over again, and you can feel like the energy rising. You can feel like whatever it is that you're trying to do, whether it's releasing or raising your energy or like whatever the case may be. Make sure that you utilize the tools that you have and utilize the act of meditation and purposeful thinking. Purposeful thinking and purposeful sayings, like what you actually speak within your mind and also just verbally to other people. So let's see. Let's get you guys some runes. And some letters. and some numbers. So, fun fact, the Harry Potter Magical Meditations deck actually came with this cute little pouch, which I used to put the numbers in. Okay, and let's get you guys some charms. So if you're new here, hi, welcome. So I don't actually look in here as I get you guys some charms. I just shuffle until I feel like it's time to take out however many handfuls I get. Okay, so here I go. Okay, so for your rune, you have Othala. And this is a rune about heirlooms. It could also be about like, well, heirlooms, heritage, also like where you are from. So if you know your lineage and there's something significant about it, your higher self is wanting to call attention to that. And there is also, so I'm trying to think of like the best way to phrase this. So it's also about like what is truly important to you. So like your source of safety, it's like that foundation community a bit, because it's about like your source of abundance, safety, yeah, like that true source of home. For your letters, you have M, E, X, B, and V. For your numbers, you have 10 and 11. All 4 piles now have gotten this number 10. So that's really interesting. Oh, you have the dream catcher. Okay. So this, let me hold it up a little bit more. So the dream catcher represents the unconscious world, your dreams. You guys did get the high priestess as well as the queen of cups. The queen of cups is not just about feelings. She is very intuitive as well, and she is in tune with her intuition. So the dream catcher also represents like the things that, well, it's not only your dreams or intuition, but just the things that are in your unconscious world as well that may come up in your dreams. So you guys have this front of the, like this front heart charm here. There's also a back one that doesn't have this, you know, the part that will loop into a necklace. But so with this charm, I'm mostly getting that your emotions, although they may not be at the forefront, they are very important. Like how you feel towards things is very important. You did choose the Empress, and you did have like 2 queens here, and then the High Priestess. So a lot of feminine energy. Also the Chariot, which although the Chariot may seem like a masculine energy, and although I don't think it's fully one or the other, because even with the Chariot, you see, I don't know how well that's going to come out, but the rider is normally taming 2 opposite color animals and controlling them. So it's both a masculine and feminine card, and it does represent Cancer, which is very much feminine because it represents like the water and the cardinal energies. So yeah, there's like from that charm, there's a message of really honoring what is important to you. So you have the, I'll start out with the chess pieces first. So interestingly, you guys have the king and the pawn. So both the king and the pawn can only move 1 space at a time. The king can move in any direction, and the pawn can only move forward unless it is taking another piece, in which case it can move diagonally. And yeah, it's interesting because you got 8 of Wands, which is normally about like fast energy. So I feel like the journey and the things that you discover is a lot more important than the end goal. Even though like the end goal may actually come more quickly than you think. I also feel like for some of you it's not even an end goal, it's more like just something that will naturally happen with time, that you don't really need to put a whole lot of energy into. But there is an energy of getting somewhere surely, and like not necessarily slowly but surely, but just surely, like making sure that you are taking the proper steps, acknowledging the things that you need to acknowledge, letting go of the things you need to let go of, digging deep into the things that make you feel uncomfortable, and also just like kind of taking your power back, and also just like holding on to the reins and like going in the direction you want to go. Because the Queen of Wands is a very powerful queen in terms of her drive and what she can manifest. So last but not least, you have the green card, which is also about travel and speed. For you guys, I'm getting that it's both. Also, you guys got the color green, so that represents the heart chakra, money, luck, and general prosperity as well. So for you guys, I'm getting that it's both the inner and the outer when it comes to speed and like traveling. So you will have to travel deeper within than you probably have done before, or that like your higher self wants you to do that if you have not already started. But some of you are also there's going to be like some sort of quick movement. I feel like I don't think this is outside of you. I think that this is something that you will do within this journey. So it may not be something that you need a catalyst for per se, but I feel like it will be of your own doing. So thank you so much for letting me read for you, Pal 4. If you like this reading, please give it a thumbs up, comment down below, let me know how I did. Hit subscribe if you are not subscribed already, and if you would like to catch up with me on other platforms, I am on TikTok, Tumblr, Instagram, and Reddit, and I also do personal readings now, and all that information is going to be below in the description box, and I will see you guys soon in another reading. Bye.